Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So it's actually been a little bit since I last did a news video. Obviously I covered the kind of information I was given about the 2024 mobile game, but I didn't cover like other news. The reality of it is just that there really kind of hasn't been any news since the kind of Comic-Con stuff, so that's kind of why things have been a little light the last kind of few weeks. But there have been a few pieces, so let's just go through this. So the first one here, some more Avatar content has come to the game Smite. So they're doing Toph and Roku in Smite, so seems pretty interesting, like looking through it here. If you like this game, it seems like they've done a pretty good job at like kind of doing some stuff with like alternate outfits and stuff like that. There's now quite a bit of, content for Avatar and Korra in the game if you're interested, but I like that we don't have to focus too much on this sort of stuff, because we actually do have our own Avatar games kind of already out and coming out, so that's pretty exciting. Speaking of which, I suppose we have a little bit of an update on Avatar Quest for Balance. We had the initial sort of announcement, we got the release date from product listings. This is just that I guess most of the places have put it up for like digital pre-order, so I think it's up on the eShop for Switch. It's up on Steam, but it's more like they have a listing up, but you can't pre-order it yet. As you can see here for like Xbox, you can pre-order it. It's still the same information, and that's the same trailer, same couple of screenshots, so we haven't got any extra like footage, which is a little bit frustrating. For anyone wondering, again, the release date is September 22nd, so we're only like what five-ish weeks away from the release of this game. It's out next month. I will be getting it and doing some videos on it. I'm probably going to get it on Steam just so I can more easily kind of record stuff and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of really all there is to, I think, say about the Quest for Balance stuff. Like, because we haven't seen anything more about it, it's just like, okay, please show it off. What's going on here? Where's the marketing for this game? But I'd hope that potentially as we get into maybe like next week or the week following, where we are like under a month until release, they'll probably pick up the pace, because I want to actually see like proper gameplay of this, because like a lot of those kind of really quick cut shots don't really show you what you're doing on a kind of minute to minute basis in the game. And I think there's going to be a little bit of fun to be had in this game, even if it's not like super the highest quality that we've ever seen. So there's that. We do have some Funko Pop rumors. Now, it's been a while. This one seems to be sort of like what the most recent kind of rumors are. Now, it seems to be a blend of a couple of the previous rumors, with maybe some of them having dropped out. Some of them are kind of more in play. So as we can see here, the rumor is that we're going to get Aang floating, both as a standard release and a kind of special release, which is the glow-in-the-dark version. Now, my understanding, based on previous stuff that came out about this, was that this is basically meant to be cosmic Aang, the kind of black, purple, white kind of floating Aang representation. When he walks into this, he will gain access to the Avatar state. I think that's what it is referring to. Now, there's maybe a slight chance this could be like Aang in the iceberg, because I think that was a rumored pop that was coming out at some point, but I think this is more actually cosmic Aang, which could look really cool as a Funko Pop, depending on how they do it. Like, if they do some really cool purple stuff, especially the glow-in-the-dark version, I think could be incredible, depending on how they do the color scheme, in terms of like, how much do they go to the black, how much do they go for the purple. It's an interesting one. Azula with lightning is an interesting one, because the initial Azula technically, I suppose, kind of has lightning, but it wasn't exclusive. The second Azula was more of the Agni Kai Azula in the final battle of ATLA. This one, I'm guessing, is just going to be one that's maybe a little bit clearer about the lightning, but I'd still expect it to be somewhat similar to the first one. But I'm guessing this probably is meant to be more of a common release, whereas the previous two Azulas have been exclusives. Iroh with lightning. So this will be our second Iroh Funko Pop. Again, what sort of thing are we doing here? Again, I'm assuming it might be some sort of a lightning redirection type thing. It could be interesting to see what way exactly they do it. King Boomy, of course, we actually just saw the release of this as an exclusive, but it's kind of King Boomy from the battle with Aang in that episode. So is this a different one? Like, might they go for the Boomy in the kind of royal robes type thing? That could be interesting. Momo, and also a supersized pop that is Appa with armor. The rumors from before were suggesting that this is the kind of nightmares and daydreams, like Ronin Momo, Samurai Appa. But you could also read this as just like Momo's finally getting like a full-size pop, and then the Appa is going to be a supersized one that is more representing like Day of Black Sun Appa in his like armor rather than the kind of funny samurai Appa. But I could go either way. We still need to see pictures. Similarly, Warrior Sokka, which is meant to be an exclusive, is this referring to Sokka with the face paint, which I think is what like other action figures when they've done a Warrior Sokka have been? Or does this refer to Day of Black Sun Sokka in his armor? Because I would prefer the Book 3 Sokka, I think, over the kind of face paint Sokka, but again, we'll see what they do. And then the most notable one for me on the list, Spirit Kyoshi, glow-in-the-dark exclusive. So that's going to be one that I think a lot of people are after. There's been so much hype around like Kyoshi content, but there's been no Kyoshi merch. So I think people are really going to jump at the chance to get a Kyoshi figure, even if it is like a pop here. It depends what they do here, because like I think people would probably prefer it to be in full color Kyoshi. Maybe with some sort of an effect that gives the spirit thing, whereas this is almost maybe like implying that like, are they gonna do like this style, like transparent Kyoshi, which, you know, could be fun, but it's like, come on, give us Kyoshi. But it seems to specify it is Spirit Kyoshi, so we'll see what exactly they do there. But like, it's an interesting list. Like, it's not covering. Is there any like new characters here? Like, because we've had an Appa Funko. Yeah, like all of these characters have come out before except Kyoshi. So Kyoshi is the only new character, and then everyone else is like a kind of slightly different variation. So for me, the hype ones here are definitely probably Kyoshi, Aang floating, and then the two lightning, like Azula Iroh with lightning, purely depends on how cool and interesting the poses are. Similarly, I would prefer these probably to be more standard characters rather than the Nightmares and Daydreams version, but the Nightmares and Daydreams versions could make for more interesting pops. We'll just have to wait and see. It seems like there's finally progress happening here. They're finally going to be like shown off at some point, so just keep an eye out for that. Could be interesting. Next, just to cover some upcoming releases in case you kind of have lost track of stuff. The next release on the schedule is the 2024 calendar special edition. This is the comics focused calendar, of course. So you can see here the months are going to have different comic covers. So that's kind of cool. 22nd of August is the release for that. I do have that ordered, so I'll do some sort of a video on it when it arrives. Then we have 29th of August. I think from the last time I specifically focused on this, there has been some sort of a delay on this, because I think this was more meant to be early August, and it's now been delayed by probably like 3 weeks or so into late August. Again, it's the last reprint that we need. Imbalance finally coming out in the omnibus format. So like, always a cool thing to get the different editions, but it will be like basically the last reprint. At the moment, it's kind of the last reprint Dark Horse can do, because everything else has an omnibus at this point, and we don't know what their further plans are. Again, we have the Kyoshi and Yang Chen novel box set in October, and you get the poster with it. I think a lot of people have forgotten this thing exists. So again, if you are new to the novels, don't have physical copies, this is probably a really good thing to do, but I would not recommend buying this box set if you have the books already just to get this poster. I don't think it's a good enough poster overall. Azula in the Spirit Temple remains 31st of October / November 1st, so that seems super locked in at this point that is when it is coming out. Again, I have my early review up on the channel if you want to check that one out. But yeah, I'm excited to see what people think of this. I guess it means like preview pages should probably be coming out at some point in the next couple of weeks. I've no idea how that's going to happen in regards to like, will an outlet, a news site get it, or will it just go up on like the websites we usually find the preview pages on? Like, because you usually, like, Edelweiss will have preview pages and stuff like that, so there's nothing here yet in terms of direct preview pages. And that's kind of it for like 2023 releases. Like, we don't have anything beyond that, and we're getting into the kind of next year's stuff. So just keep that in mind, like that there's some releases for August, and then you're just waiting for basically Azula in the Spirit Temple, effectively. And then we'll wrap up the video with some Avatar Generations news. So the big thing is that our update for next week is actually coming on Monday, and that is the introduction of guilds into the game. Now, they covered this in some of the kind of recent developer notes. There was a recent live stream that they did where they went over it in a little bit of like detail. It is only the first half of guilds, like, and I think that's the interesting thing about this. This is not like a massive update to the game as far as I'm concerned, because they haven't told us that there's any like content as such coming into the game. It's just guilds, and the way this is going to work is that literally what is coming into the game is the ability to create a guild, and then to like obviously request to join a guild, the approvals and stuff like that to get into the guild. But then once you are part of a guild, the only feature that is currently in the game, I think right now, is going to be like chat between the guild members, and then a kind of check-in thing. And this is going to be the main kind of like guild currency related to the guild shop, is that every day when you log into the game, you should go into guild and then click, kind of check in. This will get you a certain amount of guild coin currency. This will also register with the guild as like someone has checked in, so the guild gets like a point. And as more and more of the guild members do their check-ins, you reach these kind of thresholds where suddenly, members of your guild will now earn more currency for doing check-ins. So I think based on what they showed in the video, it's going to start out at like you earn 8 coins when you log in, but eventually after like a bunch of days, a bunch of weeks, especially if your whole guild is doing it and it's a full guild, you'll eventually get to the point where when you do a check-in, you're maybe earning like 30 something coins, and that's sort of the idea. Right now what we know is like in the shop for the guild, there is going to be a relic, the White Lotus kind of flag. And then there's also going to be a White Lotus art set, plus some resource stuff, skip tickets, a couple of summon tickets. There is a skill coin in there as well that looks somewhat okay, especially if your guild is super active and you can get to the higher level of coins quite quickly. It means you probably can... being part of a guild, it seems like, will basically guarantee you another skill coin every month, give or take. So... if you're part of an active guild, like, it should help you out. But obviously the stuff that we're kind of more waiting for is, I think for me specifically, I really want to see these guild boss battles in play and what way that works. Because we basically know Father Glowworm, I think, is going to be the first one. So I'm excited to see how that's exactly going to work, what rewards there's going to be, because you have to assume the guild boss battles are going to be like some of the most rewarding things in the entire game. But we'll have to wait and see, of course. Beyond that, they have teased like Kiwok again. So I think what's happening here is that the banner that's going to be coming into the game on Monday or Tuesday is going to be a Kiwok and Talaric Tug kind of reprised powerful opponent banner, I think. So they've teased Kiwok, they haven't teased Talaric Tug, but I think the data mining suggests both of them will be in there. Because they did a poll about it. I think Talaric Tug won, so it's kind of weird they're teasing Kiwok. So I think both are coming. It makes sense to do this, group up characters. This is the way they've done reoffering characters. I think, again, this is going to be powerful opponent for both of these characters. So nothing particularly new, but if you want these characters, great. If you do participate, I guess you can convert the coins into Peace Chaos tickets, which is okay because Peace Chaos is kind of what we're waiting for, kind of like after that. Otherwise, the main thing we are waiting for in the game from a character point of view is the introduction of Mei, Azula, and Ty Lee. So we've had these teased for a while because, of course, we had the the event, the kind of summer event where we earned relics that were basically associated with the beach and those characters specifically. Now we know specifically, like, May is like in the game. If you do the new Iroh from the current banner, if you do his mastery level 4 battle, you actually face off against May in it. So her unit's already in the game. Obviously, the data mining stuff, we already knew about it. But you can see here, it is May. It is Chaos May. You can see, like, her skills and stuff like that here. There's her basic skill, her advanced skill, her passive skill, and so on. So pretty interesting stuff. The basic idea of May as a unit in the game is that she's sort of like anti-positive stance. So she is going to prevent characters from going into positive stances. I think it says excluding transformations. So like Avatar State Aang, I think, will always go into the Avatar state, but she can stop like a lot of other things that can really set stuff up. So it seems like a little bit of a kind of anti-meta kind of character at the moment. Otherwise, like, she's going to inflict special element, which will prevent healing. I think because she has bladed weapons, she's going to be inflicting bleed. And then because she is the kind of blade master to a certain degree, I think they also have things where like her blades will sort of like strip off buffs from opposing characters as well. And then she also has this kind of like dreary state thing that activates, that is what prevents the opposing characters from going into positive stances. And I think she has some like Team Azula synergy stuff going on, where like she'll have damage reduction for the rest of the team. So it seems clear that May, if they're doing it separately for these three characters, May is probably up first at the end of the Zuko banner that's ongoing, which is going to run for the like next week. But then from what like basically the 21st is maybe the date we would be expecting May at the very least to be offered. Because we know there is this kind of like the next one I think is going to be called New Ozai, because some people saw it because they had some server issues and it pushed forward some stuff. No one got to play New Ozai, but it showed that was the name of it, and that's obviously like where May, her father and mother and stuff like that are when they're introduced. So it does make sense that this is the kind of like May kind of situation. So that seems like if you're a fan of May like I am, like if it's just a standard May banner with some relics, like that seems perfect, because then if you have enough to get to pity, you're guaranteed May. Whereas we don't actually know what the plan is for like Ty Lee and Azula. Like, are they going to come in a separate banner like the month afterwards? Because they're all Peace Chaos. Like, it's Chaos Azula, I think it's Peace Ty Lee. It would be crazy if they put all three in one banner. Like, that would just make it so difficult for people to get the character that they want. And it would just, like, it would be just a banner where everyone just would feel the need to commit everything to. So I think they need to separate it apart a little bit. So if they did the kind of a May event banner thing, and then maybe just have a separate Peace Chaos kind of banner on its own the month afterwards, or something like that. Maybe it will be another event banner. We'll see what way they do that. Because it almost feels like that's the way they're approaching doing things now, is that when they're doing Peace Chaos now sort of is almost like the event banner situation. That they're putting a significant banner in place and that's how they do it, but we don't really know the situation. Otherwise, like, I'm not sure what's going on next week in regards to, like, are we expecting any new content to be added to the game? Because we know we're waiting for like one or two different like Aang scenarios to be added to the game. One of them I think is Dojo Master related. The other one is some sort of a water kind of a Southern Water Tribe style thing, because we did get a mail recently from one of the characters. I think we got a one from Wen that would suggest that maybe that Water Tribe one is coming sooner rather than later, but they haven't teased that that's actually coming into the game. So I don't know if that will just be an extra bonus to go with guilds, because they're really hyping up guilds, or if maybe on the 21st, that's when like a lot of the stuff is going live. Because the plan obviously for the guilds is for the rest of the guild stuff to come in then a few weeks. But then they've also teased that there's Kyoshi content coming, both the continuation of Rise of Kyoshi, but then also like original Kyoshi era content. And then we also need to get back around to the Avatar story. We're still only on episode 6, so we need to get to the significant episode 7 and 8, because we basically know that like some sort of a Heibai boss battle is going to be the kind of final one that in a way kind of completes the set. Because we currently don't have any way to just like from boss battles earn chaos like beads. So we need a chaos boss battle, and I think Heibai would make sense, but then that gets confusing because a lot of the boss battles are maybe tied to guild boss battles and what's going on. So I think there's just a little bit of a lack of clarity about like, wait, what is coming into the game? Like a lot is planned. And then like also the Korra era, I think, is roughly planned at some point before the end of the year. So like there's so much kind of happening in the game, but it is kind of notable that it's kind of been a few weeks since the Imprisoned update, and there's been no like significant like content addition since then, and so I'm just kind of a little bit kind of worried about that. But I'm definitely excited for May. Obviously I think most people are probably mostly excited about Azula. And you know, I don't think we have any like advanced information on Azula yet, but I think it's going to be really, really exciting because I think they know they have to deliver with that character. So it'll be cool to see what goes on there. But yeah, that's been the kind of news recap for now. I will have a Yang Chen chapter analysis video up later on. We're getting towards the end of them, and then we'll get I'll work on another Republic City RPG video that's a little bit more kind of focused, and then we could probably get back into sort of more normal style content, but build up to like Azula and stuff like that. But yeah, in the comments let me know what your thoughts are on all this news. But that has been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.